I like going hunting, just me, my hound, and my gun. Chasing them deer, rabbit, and squirrel, now that's my kind of fun. I like going fishing too, I'll go on any whim, looking for the big bass, the crappie, and the brim. Give me a wide open field to walk through. Give me an ocean so deep. I wanna ride the longest river in the world, or maybe climb the highest mountain peak.
Well, folks, we're down on a beautiful lake down here, and I guess it'd be southwest Alabama, Miller's Ferry, and with my good friend Philip Chris down here. And Philip, it's a wonderful bass lake, ain't it?
Yes, it sure is. I've caught a lot of good fish down here.
I'd hate for you to tell folks how many you caught last weekend down here.
I've done pretty good last 2
What that
weeks.
string weigh you caught that you brought by my shop up there?
The first string, 10 fish, was 58 pounds.
58 pounds. You come back and nearly repeated it after that, didn't you?
The next weekend I come back and 10 fish was, I think, 36 pounds and 4 ounces.
Uh-huh.
I believe is what it was.
Well, y'all really got a beautiful place here. We're going to get on out there and bang away at them a little bit. That's your mother and dad back over here?
Yes, sir. That's my mother and father over there.
Well, I tell Mama we sure did enjoy that good breakfast this morning, them good biscuits there. I tell you right now, that's first class. And
Sure did. It'll help us get through today.
The weather looks like it's going to be beautiful, and we'll just step on out there, and we get on up here a little bit. You can just kind of go over with us what you're using and how we're going to fish it.
Okay. Be glad to.
All right, well, let's push it on out there, Chris.
All right. Go ahead and get in.
Okay. Philip, now we're right up here in the backwaters of Miller's Ferry, up in this slough here by your house. We ain't but about, what, a couple of city blocks from your house, are we?
Probably. Something like that.
You don't go far, do you?
No, sir, not. Ain't got much need to right now.
All right, what we're going to fish with now, and how we're going to use it?
Well, this is a top hog. It's laid by McCullough Bait out of Tuscaloosa. It's, well, your basic spinner bait, except for a big blade on the end here.
Uh-huh.
It's white with white and yellow skirts. We're using a trailer hook on it.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, all right, now let's show him on that trailer. That's just so if he nabs it, tries to grab a front one, and misses it, you got one back here to get him, had you?
Yes, sir, and another main thing is to keep them sharp.
Keep 'em sharp.
Really keep them sharp. And I use the rubber band on it, you know, to hold it straight in line.
That's right there. You stick it through there. Let's show them how you did that, because a lot of folks don't understand that now.
You take and put the rubber band over the eye of the hook, like this.
Just like that right
Regular
there.
quill band.
Quill band. Yeah,
Yes,
I got you. And then you just, you're going to stick your hook right through there, right?
So you can turn it, you know, where it'll be up. Stick it right through the rubber like that.
And that holds it just right on out there, don't it?
Mm-hmm. Does a real good job. And for the past 2 weeks, the fish I've been catching has been coming off of this. And probably 80% of them has been caught on the trailer hook.
On the trailer.
On
So
the
if
trailer.
they ain't got a trailer hook, they're going to lose a lot of fish, ain't they?
You'll miss a lot and you'll lose a lot.
Uh-huh.
Sure will.
So that's the way you rig yours to go. And you got just a little old worm thing on there, and just
Well,
kind
it's
of
called
give it
a split tail.
split tail.
And I
Just kinda-
use twin tails. It takes the place of pork rind, don't dry out. I think it's a lot more durable.
Uh-huh.
Fish, you'd think fish tear it up, but I used that one all day last Saturday.
Didn't even tear it up.
And, well,
Still ready to
good
go,
shape.
ain't it?
I missed a lot of fish when I first started this year, and it was my fault for not having a good sharp hook. I'd stick them and have them for a little while and they'd get off.
Uh-huh.
And I worked on them hooks with a little three-sided file. I don't know what you call the name of it, but it does a good job, little fine file. Keep it real sharp, and a lot of times you won't actually feel the strike. It'll feel like you hit some weeds, or it'll just take off sideways or get heavy.
Uh-huh.
And then sometimes they'll load up on it.
Uh-huh.
It just, you know.
Well, in other words, at that point, just barely touches, and then with a little pressure, it'll drive it on in.
If he
it's dull,
slashes his head, he's gonna drive it. But if it's dull, he can sling it.
Slide it right on out.
They'll sling it with them good and sharp.
All right, show us your typical stroker now before we get started here, Phil.
Well, now
I can see your bait. How deep are you now?
It's maybe 6 to 8 inches underwater right there.
Just a good steady retrieve.
Good
Is that what you
steady
want?
retrieve is all I'm doing, and if work it like that. If I don't get no hits on it, you know, after a few casts in a good area like this, then I'll drop it down about a foot or two and work it back in.
I see.
And it'll work good if you come by some logs. When you come over a log, just stop it and let it fall. And a lot of times if he's there, he'll hit it. Or by a weed bed, I've threw it by a weed bed like that. One wouldn't hit it. Throw it back by it, and just as you get at it, just stop it for a little bit and let it fall. And if he's under it, a lot of times he'll take it.
Come on out there. And he's got to get in a hurry too, hasn't he?
He'll get it in a hurry. If he's coming after it, he'll get it.
Well, I'm going to tie me on one of these things here, and we'll be ready to go. And now you like the silver blades, or are you going to swap up on
Well,
down here?
we might swap up on and off, but they've been hitting the silver blade.
I see.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 1, Easy Fishing, a collection of 4 TV shows that teaches you simple techniques that will keep fresh fish on the table, from bank fishing on Mulberry River to flat bottom fishing on small lakes. Dam fishing will yield large striped bass, while the Tennessee River is famous for those large smallmouth. So ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips, Easy Fishing at your local video store or nearby sporting goods dealer.
One other thing a person needs down here, he needs a good weedless prop on a trolling motor.
Is that what you've got your rigged up, or you hadn't?
It's got a weedless prop on it.
Well, there's all kind of grass and debris in here, isn't it, Philip?
Yes, sir. It's just normally in the summertime, later on this year, there won't be no water right here.
There won't be.
Yep, it'll be just, it might be enough for duck can get up there and play, you know.
Well, where do you fish then?
I just move out further on the edge, and then I start hitting some of the
You
creek
go,
channels and river ponds.
do you go out in the main river then, or
Yeah.
you still stay back up in here?
I stay in here early and late part of the day.
Uh-huh.
There he is.
There you go. Woo, look at yonder. There you go. Man, he was back there, wasn't he?
Yeah, they done done real good. I'm glad to see that.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine fish. Look at that. You got him on both hooks, haven't you, Philip?
Yes, he.
Let me get his net so you won't. Can you go thumb him in? Yeah. Look at that pretty thing right there. Let's see how you got. See, you got him. You got him on that
The
trailer
main.
hook right there, right? No, is that the main hook?
That's the main hook there. The trailer hook is.
He's got him that way, hasn't he? Yeah, you got him coming and a going.
He couldn't have thrown this. I don't think he wanted to.
That's a good setup I've ever seen right there.
I think I'm gonna have to get my needle nose out of the box over here.
He hit that in about the time you come on out of there, didn't he?
Go ahead and chunk it up in there. They laying up in there. There's some good fish in here. Maybe you'll get hold of one of them.
You know, sometimes on these spinner baits, you can get in one spot and hit one, pitch back in, catch another or two out of there when they're really red hot. But I mean, that don't happen all the time, but it's subject to happen.
Well, I got 4 fish out of one area down here. It was last weekend.
Uh-huh.
I believe it was. I got 4 fish on about maybe 6 casts right in the same spot.
Goodness gracious alive.
2 of them good fish.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd like to say special thanks to Carry On, a good friend of mine, that letting us have the privilege to film this show out of this boat. And
It's a real nice
We
filming
do.
boat, isn't it?
yes, sir, it's a nice boat. We do a lot of fishing together. And he's got a good setup, good live well, timers on it. He's got a real good rig.
And we appreciate him letting us use it to get down in here and get amongst these Miller's Ferry's bass here. There he comes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's one of them crappie. What did I just get?
Look at that, look at that. My goodness, what a crappie. Look at, let me pick him up. Look at that thing. Goodness gracious alive. Caught on that top hog. Now that's fine crappie. You just got through telling me about them things. Buddy, boy. That's a 2-pounder if he's an ounce, I guarantee.
There's some good ones in here. I think
that there go 2 1/4.
Be close to it, won't it?
Cause if he's 2, see he's full here. Look across that back right there. See how full that thing is across the back? That's fine crappie. My goodness. What do you think he's just laying up here wanting to spawn, Philip?
I don't know. They're still full of eggs.
He hit that front hook.
Like him I caught last week was getting both hooks.
Both of them.
They was running up behind it, sucking it in.
I just want you to look at that. And that's a white one too. That is a fine crappie. I don't want to, I tell you, you allow to make crappie fishing around me with this top hole. I'm just stop bass fishing, go catching some of them crappies like that. That's fine doing there.
Let's see if we can get some more of them out here maybe later on today.
All right. Bass or crappie? No, there's another nice bass.
He gone.
Now, Philip, that wasn't supposed to happen. Have you ever had that happen before?
Many times. Fish, ain't it?
I believe it is. I can't tell. He's right there at the edge of them weeds. He ain't that big, but he ain't that bad. Oh, he ain't that big one. I thought I had me a monster there for a minute. He sure rolled out there and smacked it. Let me see where I got him at.
Got him on that trailer hook.
Yep, got him on the trailer hook. Yeah, he right on the back side. Of course, I got him in between there. I don't know how I done that.
Just swiping at it.
That's probably what it was.
That trailer hook pays off.
Yeah, it sure does.
That'd been one fish right there. Wouldn't have been caught.
All I'd have got on this one right here would have been a bump, Philip.
That's about it.
Just been a bump. I believe we're making that old duck mad over yonder. See him looking at us, hollering at us? Look at him hollering at us.
They might be trying to nest. They nest.
I figured that. See, he stays in that one spot right there. It looks
That's
real
the
active.
male duck, ain't it?
Yeah.
The females, they're brown, aren't they?
Yeah, but we was here in the last 2 or 3 days. We hear one hollering like that, and in a minute, here come the female. They just getting ready to do it.
Yeah.
There he comes.
Get up there.
Yeah, there he comes. Right off that point, wasn't it, fella?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a little speed demon there. Yeah, there you go. Man, he likes that, don't he? That's spinnerbait, Debbie. You ain't got him all that good. There you go. Let's see if there's another one right here. This one's good fish.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 2, Bass. Philip Chris knows his spinnerbaits well and teaches you his techniques. Nolan Shivers not only catches them, but shows you a very good way to cook them. Clarence Sims shows you that women fishermen can be mighty productive. So ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips Volume 2, Bass at your favorite video store or nearby sporting goods dealer.
Uh-oh, he's going on the boat. Look out, look out, look out, look out. Right under the boat, under the boat, under the boat. Let me see if I can get him out. Here he comes. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's what I knew. Nose on
Oh,
this bank.
look at that thing.
Look at what it spit up.
Holy mackerel.
Don't get
Look at that, look at there. That shad's 4 inches long. Look at that fish right there.
Now that's what we're out here at.
Goodness gracious alive.
Ooh, what hook
Philip, I
shot.
ought to kiss you for that one. Look at that. What'll he go, Philip?
I don't know.
Would he go 6 pound?
He gonna hit 7.
Think he gonna hit 7?
He'll hit he'll hit right at 7.
But that is, let's see how we got him here now. Let's see, I got him on the
You got him on the big hook.
Got him on the big hook, and I got him, let's see. I got him right there. That ain't a bad spot right there, but with enough pressure, he'd come on out of there, wouldn't he? See right there?
Yes, sir, he could sling it.
All right, now look at him. Let's see.
I believe that bass is spawned. Look at him. Eggs running out of it.
Looky there. Squeeze it, look right there. He was spawning. See them eggs?
Eggs.
Let's see if any more come out. No, but there they are right there.
Eggs.
And he got his tail here, is redded up right there, split down through there. Well, that is some fine doings, Philip.
That's what I've been getting down this bank now for 2 weeks.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing, that'd make a fella have a restless night. Did you know that? Just thinking about that. Boy, I'm glad you had that dip net in there too.
Look here what a shad he spit up. I want to dip that up. I see they're still feeding. People say fish won't feed when they're on the bed. That fish definitely on the bed, eggs is running out of it.
That's right.
But yet.
But now down here at Miller's Ferry, they're about 2 weeks ahead of the rest of the state, it looks like.
Up in here.
Yeah.
It's
because the water's shallow.
Warm. This water's not moving. We're fixing to get in the current area right in here. The current will hit this bank from here down. And from right yonder back is that's what we've been getting a lot of the good fish.
Boy, that is some fine fish.
That's a big old shad.
That's a big shad.
But
he was definitely feeding when he run out there though. He just got through with that and then was just fixing to hammer me.
That's a nice fish, man.
It sure is.
I'm proud for you.
You caught an 8.5 pounder down here last week, didn't you?
8 pound, 8.5 ounce.
Boy, that's good fish. Goodness gracious. Well, there's nothing funner than catching one on spinnerbait. Now I'm gonna tell you. At first, I didn't think that fish was that big, Philip.
I did when you first hooked. I said, when I seen him ball, I seen his side. I knew it was a good fish. Wow, that's a beautiful fish. Beautiful.
Well, we'll just put him. I tell you what I'm gonna do now. You know, we're in the taxidermy business. We mount fish for other people. This one here is gonna be an internal job, mounted for me. Okay, let's get him back there. You got him?
Yes, sir. I got him.
Okay.
See how all them muskrats right yonder, they piled up, and they in a circle like. They looking in all directions. The only reason I can figure they do that is so they can keep a good eye out for these alligators.
There plenty of them in here?
Yes, sir. Good many.
I tell you, that'd make a good lunch for an alligator, wouldn't it? Boy, that whole pile, if he could sneak up on that pile and get about 4 of them, I see 3 looking this way right now.
There's probably 6 or 8 of them because there was 3 looking the other way.
Yeah.
On the other side and 1 looking toward the river.
Well, I guess a muskrat is maybe one of the primary foods of an alligator, wouldn't you? Because as slow as they are, they ought to be able to get to them pretty good, shouldn't they?
They can get up in them old weeds and probably lay around. That old gator just wait on them because them things, I got within 2 or 3 foot of one down here last Saturday. Didn't know he was there, and he was watching me the whole time.
Well, I had a good buddy over at Finoki Swamp, like got his arm took off one of them things. Woo, look at there. He nailed that one, didn't he? There he comes. Oh, he's a fighter.
He ain't no big fish, but...
Boy, he put up a good, you need the net?
No.
Huh?
Nah.
That's still good catching fish right there, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad to have him there.
Yes, sirree. Yes, sir. He was laying right in that nook right yonder, wasn't
he? Yeah, he hit it about 5 foot out.
Do you think they followed out of that grass? You think they followed out, or do you think they're already out there and they just swirl at it where it's at?
I don't know. I figure they might be in there and following it out, but later on in the day, you can throw out here and they'll hit it out from the weeds. So.
Or do you think they get where they filter that air out of there, Philip? I mean, they get where there's so much sediment that they can get in a little deeper water and that sun don't bother them?
Yeah, I believe you're right there. Oh, there you go.
You got him on that side?
Yeah.
Good fish.
Oh, there you go.
Hold him out there. Whoa, that's a fine one. That is a fine one. Boy, he's cutting the bug, ain't he? Don't lose that thing now, Philip. Bring him in here. Bring him right in there. Hell, I believe you got him pretty good.
Yeah, he hit it pretty solid. That's a good 3 pound fish,
yes,
2.5 or so.
I'm gonna let you hold him. You caught him.
All right.
I like a big old net too, don't you, Philip?
Look here, Archie.
Yes, sir. Squeeze him in and see what
these fish.
That fish right there is bedding now.
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about now.
These tails wore off and bloody. They hitting the bed off. Look here, it just fell out.
Well, you know, we may be catching them just on the front end, this first bunch that's coming. just before they really start nailing it. Three
don't
more
know.
days, I believe he's right here. I don't believe you could catch him, do you?
I don't neither. If a person is, you know, planning on fishing this area now, in 2 weeks, it's too late.
Too late, I got you.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 3, Fish Combo. Fish and Fixins with Nolan Shivers teaches you crappie fishing techniques on Lay Lake. Dam Fishing with Joe Wallace shows you how to catch hybrid stripes below area dams. Pier Fishing with Nolan Shivers shows you how to get those big bass under riverside piers, and Amberjack Fishing with Tommy Browning gives you an offshore fishing trip that will really excite you. So ask for a Fish Combo at your local video store.
I'm here to tell you that's about as fine a day as I ever done participated in fishing in my life, Philip. And I don't know what this now. I tell you, I'm kind of proud you let me catch this big one here.
Yeah.
You put it on me pretty bad on some of them other ones there. But I learned an awful lot spinnerbait fishing with you, and I hope our viewers picked up a good bit of tips and hints from you here. Right down here at Miller's Ferry, South Alabama.
Well, I hope I said something that'd be beneficial to the people in the way of the Lord and fishing too.
Fishing too. Well, I'm gonna tell you now, you're about as good as I've ever been with.
I told it every way that I knew how that I fished a bait. I tried to explain it the best I could, and we stayed with the bait all day. So, you know, they will hit the bait. It's just a matter of knowing where to fish it and how to fish it.
Well, let's just kind of lift them.
Staying with
it. See what they look like strung up there. Now that is just about a fella can get a string of fish like that in a day. He can say he's been a fishing, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And all them folks that encourage you down there at the mines, we want to thank all them for encouraging and helping you be such a good fisherman.
Well, I appreciate it. And I thank you a lot.
All right, well,
let's give me the opportunity to do this.
Well, we're gonna go and we'll thank Mom and Pop for that good support they give us, and night sleeping down here, some good, sure enough, good breakfast and lunch here.
Sure.
And we're gonna ease on, and y'all folks stay with us again next week for some more Outdoors with Archie Phillips.
I remember me and my dad going fishing, go every chance we could. We had a short streak of bad luck. I like going hunting, just me, my hound, and my gun. Chasing them deer, rabbit, and squirrel, now that's my kind of fun. I like going fishing too, I'll go on any whim, looking for the big bass, the crappie, and the brim. Give me a wide open field to walk through. Give me an ocean so deep. I wanna ride the longest river in the world, or maybe climb the highest mountain peak.
Well, folks, we're on one of the real heavy-duty spinnerbait lakes here in South, I guess this is South Alabama, Miller's Ferry, and got my good friend Philip Chris with me, who's brought by some of the biggest strings of large bass that I have seen in a while. Philip lives back down there at Abernath, and Philip, you've been wearing them out down here for 2 or 3 weeks, haven't you?
Yes, I've been doing real good. I've been real fortunate to have caught 2 nice strings of bass. I've only been down twice this year, but I've been fishing this area now for about 10 or 12 years and fishing it regular for the past 5 since I bought a place down here. And been doing great. Fish has been really hitting good, and it's got some beautiful weather to try and get some in too.
Well, you told me if we could get down here this afternoon, one of your favorite times of fishing is from about, what, 3:30 on?
Yes, sir. About 3:30 till dark.
Maybe we can catch a few out here. And now you're a spinnerbait man on this thing, aren't you? I mean, that's your
basic bait
thing
down here, spinnerbait.
How about showing them what you're using and how you use it, and how you got it rigged up?
Well, this is it's a top hog, white with yellow skirts. It's made by McCullough Bait Company out of Tuscaloosa, and it's just your basic spinnerbait, double blade spinnerbait. The only difference between this and bush hog and any other spinnerbait is got the big blade on the end. And of course, I use a trailer hook on mine, which I think is very important.
Yeah, let's get that close, because that's going to be one of the key things, I believe.
Well, I can take it off right quick and show you. You just basically got your plug and a hook and a quill band.
Quill band.
And I just take the quill band, stick it right over the head of the hook like so. Take and stick it through there and down. That band hold it out straight like it. It runs straight with a lure and kind of makes it help it, from getting hung up and everything. But a very important point is the trailer hook, and keep these hooks sharp, because the bass, their mouths are tough. You're gonna have some big fish hitting, hopefully, and you have to have a good sharp hook when you start hitting the jaw of a good fish. Don't, he'll sling it back at you.
All right, now, in throwing that bait, a lot of people think that's a mighty big bait, but what's the reason for such a big bait?
Big fish.
Big fish. In other words, you're after trophy fish, aren't
I'm
you?
after the bigger fish. You won't catch a whole lot. You'll catch small fish at times, especially right now, because you got a lot of your male bass guarding the bedding area. And if you catch a male off, you'll work that spot over pretty good. Most of the time, you'll come out there with a sow. And it's, like I say, been doing real good. Had 2 nice strings, 10 fish limit, one 58-pound and one 36-pound and some few ounces.
You could have won any tournament on this lake with those 2 strings of fish, couldn't you?
Yes, more than likely. I fished a lot of tournaments last year, and I don't remember any of them hardly hit, maybe one that hit 30 pounds on a 20 fish limit.
All right, now, this is which river now? Is this Alabama?
This is the Alabama River, which we're in a backwater slough here. The river is behind that tree line that you see right yonder. The river's behind it. And there's the only other stream that's running through here. We have a creek coming down behind that line of timber. And the creek will come across, and it'll hit this point down here about 75 to 100 yards from the end. The current will start hitting that. And we're going to fish the area from where the current hits back, this stretch right here.
And we're not in deep water either, are we?
Water right here where we're sitting now, 3 foot.
3 foot.
Just enough. Well, you can kind of watch. You'll kick up a little mud with a trolling motor every now and then.
I see. All right, well, I'm ready to get with it.
Well, let's see what we can do. This has been a very productive bite.
I tell you, I love
a lot of 5-pounders, in excess of 20 in the last 2 weeks has come off this stretch of bank right here. Biggest in, well,
That's
biggest
where
in
that bowl
8
right
pounds.
there, wasn't it, that
Yes,
block?
sir, right in there.
I believe I see a muddy place in there. Might be starting a bed right in there.
I believe it's, look
at them turkeys yonder. Holy mackerel.
See his beard on?
Yes, sir. Now he said, look at him going yonder. He sat right there and let us get right. This game down here is just not spooked.
No.
That scared me when he jumped out of that tree.
Ain't nobody hunt these.
Them's kind of tame gobblers, ain't they?
They ain't a bit tame, but they just ain't nobody
Messes
hunting in
with
this
them
area
much.
right
I
in
see.
here, you know. It's
Well, this is a wildlife paradise. It beats anything I have ever seen. Just absolutely beautiful. And it's got plenty of fish in it. That's what gets me. It's got all these fish in here. Oh, look at there. Woo, hold him there. Oh, that's a fine one. Yeah. Boy, he nailed it way out there too, didn't he? Oh. Terrible, terrible. Terrible, terrible.
Win some, lose some.
But that one thing about spinnerbait, you get to look at them. That's worth something, man.
Yeah, they gonna come to the top try to throw that bait. They sure
Yeah.
gonna do that.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 4, Fish and Hunt Combo. Jump Box with Doug Fincher shows you trot line fishing like you've never seen it before. Rattlesnake with Jimmy Jones shows you a different type of hunting. Rabbit Hunting with Melvin Stewart shows you a good hunting fellowship with southern flavor. And Spawning Bass with Philip Chris gives you a good springtime bass show. So ask for Fish and Hunt Combo at your local video store or nearby dealer.
There he is. Oh, you got him?
Got him. Good
Oh,
fish.
boy,
Good
that's-
fish.
he's coming out to the middle.
Woo, look at him. There
Look
you
at that thing go.
Good fish, good fish.
Look at that thing that we got. I ain't seen him turn up yet.
There he is.
There he is.
He's headed right out for the middle.
There he comes. Ain't no logs out there.
No.
Woo, look at that thing. Holy mackerel, what a fish. Which way?
Here comes over here.
Watch that trolling motor.
Yeah, I don't want him getting that trolling.
What a fish. Look at that. Whoop, I ain't got him up. Yow! What a fish. Philip. My goodness gracious alive. Have you ever brought me to...
Another look here, the eggs running out of him. Look at that.
Let me get a good grip on it. Yeah, look at them eggs coming out of there.
Mm-hmm.
See them right there?
Fat. Man, that's
Goodness
some
gracious alive.
beautiful fish.
That is a beautiful fish. Like I say, they're really rolling out now. Look at there. See them come? Can you see them, Philip? Look at that.
Yeah, and I'm telling you.
Boy, boy, boy. They tell me spawning fish won't hit. He was doing something in there, wasn't he?
Sure enough.
Goodness.
I was telling a friend of mine, Kerry, the boy I fish with all the time, there's gonna be people, the fishing's gonna be over before they get their bass boats out of their carport.
That's right. That's
They're
right.
gonna be done missing.
Well, now I want to show you something. Let's see if we can get this in. You got him hooked on your front hook, right in the corner. Now, one more lunge or two, and you'd be in trouble right there.
Pretty much so. That's a good tough part of the mouth, but they will tear it loose.
Yes, sir. Boy, do you see him come out there like a bullet heading for deep water?
I knew when I stuck him good fish, he took off the middle and slipped that drag one time.
Uh-huh. Now, this is, again, where you talk about them sharp hooks, too, ain't it?
Yes, sir. Them good, sharp.
Now, back him on out there. Now, boy, I'm going to tell you, that is a fine fish right there. Spinnerbait,
Good, healthy
spinnerbait fish.
Spinnerbait fish. Love it.
Yes, sir.
Thank the Lord for that one.
Yeah, ain't a thing in the world wrong with that. And he's good and healthy, too. I think this lake is cycled back around. I believe y'all getting back in some sure enough good fishing in there.
We have caught some beautiful fish out here in the past 2 weeks.
I'm telling you now, that's some good doings
See
there.
if we can nail us nothing right
All
here.
right, look at that, look at that, look at that. Holy mackerel, hold him, hold him, hold him, hold him, hold him, hold him, hold him. Wow, hold down there, fish. Woo! Holy mackerel.
See, this is what I'm talking about. I know they're
Oh
gonna move
my
in here.
goodness, another fine fish. I tell you one thing, that is some fine
Boy,
doings
he's
right
got a
there.
nice belly on him too, ain't
Yes, sir, he has. Let's see if he's spewing any eggs. Now, that there ain't laying none yet. He ain't quite ready.
he? He ain't spewing
Now,
none.
boy, you nailed him good, right under the tongue. That's a good spot right there.
I seen him come for it,
Uh-huh.
and I liked to snatch too early, and I caught myself, and
You'd pulled out his mouth with
I
it.
had to wait.
You
till
got
he
both
grabbed
hooks in him that time, didn't
it.
you?
Oh, he like swallowed it, didn't he?
Goodness gracious, look down in there.
There you
Now, boy, that is fine. That is some fine doings there. Phil,
Wait,
look
sir.
at that rabbit going across through there. He's just taking his time, ain't he?
Sure will.
He's barely
Rabbit out here walking around that
in broad daylight.
2:30 in the day.
Look at that. He better be careful when them alligators will make supper out of him.
He better not get out here too close to that water.
Look at him over. He hid behind that log over there. No, there he goes. He's feeding right on out. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's digging now. Look at him. Look at him. See him digging him a hole?
Mm-hmm.
I guess they just feed on all that stuff up in there. The little twigs and grass. He ain't paying us no more attention. You know good willing ears.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
did
what it
have a
is about
strike
being
right
in a
there.
boat that it just don't bite. If we got out on that bank, he'd cut out. You know it?
Yeah. He better not fool around long. Them beagles, the daddies will be on top of him. There's a place downriver here about 3 miles from here, Archie, on the left. It's a lot of snags standing right on the edge of the river. And you can look back up in there, and there's a big flat back in there. It's as big as this flat or bigger. And it's got a creek off to the right-hand side of it, on the back end of it. And I've been in there. It's just like this. It's a good area for fishing. Prettiest place you ever seen for spinnerbait. And I catch a good many fish in there, but you don't never see nobody else in there fishing. You know, a few crappie fishermen.
Yep.
I've seen some people catch some awfully nice crappie in there.
Well, you was telling me a while ago that you think it's probably one of Alabama's best spinnerbait lakes.
I believe this is the best spinnerbait lake in the state of Alabama. I sure do. You got
pretty well been proving that today, hasn't it?
Well, we've been very fortunate. Good Lord's let us catch pretty good, decent mess of fish.
I guarantee you.
And a few nice ones. This lake down here, it gets a lot of pressure, and you see more people probably throw spinnerbait than anything else. But a lot of worm fishing done down here. And worms are good. You can catch fish right here on a worm. But I'd rather stay with a spinnerbait. You catch more fish on a smaller spinnerbait, and you'll probably catch more on a worm. But you catch more big fish on this spinnerbait. Overall, if you fish it from daylight to dark, you might get less strikes. But at the end of the day, what few fish you get is going to outweigh most of the time what somebody else would get fishing right the opposite.
In other words, we're fishing for the bigger fish is what we're after with this bait system.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 5, Hunting. Squirrel hunting with dogs has always thrived in the South, and this squirrel hunting show reflects why. Quail hunting with well-trained dogs keeps your skills sharp and your dinner table full, and deer driving gives you good fellowship with fine friends. So ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips, Volume 5, Hunting, at your local video store or nearby sporting goods dealer.
Yeah, this right in here, Archie's, you can see the old fence row. It used to be a pasture in here before they backed it up. And you see how all those trees look like in rows?
Yeah, I bet they planted them,
I
didn't
believe
they?
at one time that was a pecan orchard.
You reckon that, or are they pine trees? Which kind of tree you reckon they are?
I don't know.
They could have been pine trees
The
planted.
old roots look like, look
Pecan
like
orchard?
a hardwood tree, from what I can see of the roots.
Yeah, you get this boat on them, you'd think it's a hardwood one.
You sure will.
That's a fine fish. Look at that thing go. Ain't no stumps out there, are there?
No stumps.
Ooh,
We got
watch
him in
back
open water.
Reckon you keep him out from under the boat? He
I
said.
sure hope I can.
Oh, boy, that's a fine one. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Get his head coming this way. Yeah, look at that. My goodness gracious alive. What a fine fish. I done just what I tried. No, I didn't. How much that in weigh?
Now look what he got him on. There's that
Look
trailer
at,
hook
let
again.
me show it for you. Hold that thing. Right in that. You didn't have that much. Look at there. One more tug,
all.
you'd have been out of business.
I probably would have.
One more tug.
But there's your trailer hook again. That trailer
That's
hook
5.
is very important.
You know, let's show them one
That
more
and
time
keeping it good and sharp.
how that got that rubber band. What'd you call that kind of rubber band?
It's quill band.
Quill band for where you get them at.
Most any tackle shop's got them.
Okay.
They come in little bitty packs.
Yeah. Stick that on there, and I promise you, you're gonna catch more fish. Boy, that's a fine fish.
Guarantee you.
Did you see that thing take off?
Oh, he hit it out here about 15 foot from the bank there, you know. I wasn't expecting him way out here.
Yeah.
I know y'all won.
No, I wasn't looking for that.
Got a cooler full, ain't we?
Oh man, have we got? Let me look in here. It's about full.
You know, can you feel them blades turning?
Yeah.
I just concentrate more on the feel of those blades turning. And if for any reason I feel something out of the ordinary, they quit turning or a line gets heavy or something, I'll go ahead and set the hook. A lot of times it won't be a fish, but very few times it won't be a fish. Most of the time.
In other words, you're saying the rhythm that blade sets up. When you don't feel that rhythm, you set the hook.
Right. You can get the feel of that blade turning, and if it ain't turning the way I want to, I either speed up the retrieve or slow the retrieve down. And once I get that rhythm down that them blades is turning to the feel that I like and the fish is hitting, then that's what I try to stay with. And anytime I feel any interruption in it, I go ahead and set the hook.
In other words, that's your pattern, right?
Yes.
Philip, now, you're convinced that this is going to be a small downpour, and I got confidence in your ability to catch bass, but I ain't got confidence in your ability to predict how wet we're going to get before we get our rain gear on. I'm just going to slip mine on just for good measure.
It won't hurt nothing. If it gets coming down any harder, I'll put on me some pants.
Well, now, I broke that lure off a while ago. It kind of broke my heart because that was a fine lure we was using there. You think maybe since that sun is down that these copper blades on this thing ought to be a little better, huh?
I believe it might work a little bit better under these cloudy conditions. I've had good results using them, you know.
Now, does that when you change over to copper when it's kind of cloudy?
Yes, sir. I don't know how the standard goes as far as people changing colors, but I do it, and it seems to work, you know, real well.
Okay, well, I'm gonna whatever
we'll know here in a minute.
We'll know shortly.
Using copper, and I'm using silver. I believe they'll hit either one if you get it in the right spot at the right time.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 6, Fishing Lakes and Rivers. Mystery Lake is one of the best brim shows you'll ever see, and that's why it's the most popular type of fishing, while Pickwick Lake is known for having large smallmouth bass. Lures with Philip Chris gives you 8 different methods to add to your arsenal, and our fishing lady will show you how to fish like a pro. So ask for Fishing Lakes and Rivers at your local video store.
Woo, look at there. He nailed that one, didn't he? There he comes. Oh, he's a fighter.
He ain't no big fish, but...
Boy, he put up a good... You need the net?
No.
Huh?
Nah.
That's still good catching fish right there, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad to have him now.
Yes, sirree. Yes, sir. He was laying right in that nook right yonder, wasn't
he? Yeah, he hit it about 5 foot out.
Do you think they followed out of that grass? You think they followed out, or do you think they're already out there and they just swirl at it where it's at?
I don't know. I figure they might be in there and following it out, but later on in the day you can throw out here and they'll hit it out from the weeds. So.
In other words, you think they get where they filter that air out of there, Philip? I mean, they get where there's so much sediment that they can get in a little deeper water and that sun don't bother them?
Yeah, I believe you're right there.
Is that little old catfish right there, is that what he spit out when he hit that?
That's what he spit out.
That thing about 5 inches long. They are definitely feeding though.
They're feeding, man. We might have to go to a shallow crankbait or something, because if they hitting them shad and that old big one that you caught spit out that big old shad.
Yeah, well, what would you fish right in here on a crankbait?
A Rapala, I would imagine, would be about as good a thing as you could throw.
Well, you think we ought to switch up a little bit or not?
No, I'm gonna stay with this bait, 'cause I know what them big ones is gonna do.
Hey, I ain't gonna take mine off till you take yours off. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I ain't hard to convince. Man, help me put a 6-7 pound bass in the boat. I ain't about to change till he does. Of course, like I told you, when I fish in another man's boat in another man's place, I want to learn what he knows about that place, because I don't learn a thing if I do what I want to do.
You might catch a lot of fish on that Rapala, but you ain't the big ones. I've had to hold some good fish, but them little hooks ain't gonna hold him. If he gets up in that, he'll tear himself off. Now, if he stays out here in the open water, you might can,
work him out.
Do all right. But if he hits it and runs up in them weeds, he'll pull himself off them little hooks.
Philip, you about got all these things strung up?
Yeah, bits about, Archie.
Oh, boy, boy. What a string of fish. Goodness gracious. That's some beauties there, I'm gonna tell you right now. I've been on many a fishing trip, but that's about as fine a big fishing as I've done in a long, long time.
We've really got some nice ones here.
And
I thank the Lord for it.
they sure are. That's some beautiful fish. You just couldn't want to catch any fish. Got one that'll go somewhere around 7-pound category if I had to guess. Some 6s in here, some 5s, 4s. Pretty good 2s there.
Yeah.
Big old crappie.
Couple of small ones.
Yeah. Just a fine trip.
Had some good fish on too.
Super day and a super feller. Philip Chris from down Abernath. Thanks a million, and y'all folks stay tuned again next week for some more outdoors with Archie Phillips.
I like going hunting, just me, my hound, and my gun. Chasing them deer, rabbit, and squirrel, now that's my kind of fun. I like going fishing too, I'll go on any whim. Looking for the big bass, the crappie, and the brim. Give me a wide open field to walk through. Give me an ocean so deep. I wanna ride the longest river in the world, or maybe climb the highest mountain peak.
Folks, we're over on beautiful Logan Martin Lake. That's kind of east of Birmingham, about an hour's drive. And it's part of the Coosa chain. And some of the finest fishing is Logan Martin here and Neely Henry up above it, and Lay and Mitchell right on down. Some of the finest fishing waters there are anywhere in the state of Alabama. And we're over at Clear Creek Marina. We put in there at the harbor store there. And I got Mr. Willard Isbell, and the folks around here will tell you that Willard's probably one of as good a crappie fishermen as he is on this lake. He won a lot of crappie tournaments, and he really studies the fish. He knows where they're at and how to get at them, and we picked a real lovely day today, and I'm looking forward to getting out there and letting Willard's got a lot of little techniques that if you'll kind of watch him and listen to him like I'm gonna be doing, it'll increase your fishing productivity and your fun on these great lakes here in Alabama. Willard, which way are we gonna go today, and what's your plans for us?
Well, we're gonna go right out here to the harbor, which is behind me, go right out and go up in Clear Creek. This is just the landing right here, and we gotta go out in the river to get up in the creek. And we're gonna go up there and try to catch one where I won that tournament over there about a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, now you took some pretty big crappies out here, hadn't you?
Well, so far about 2.5.
2.5. But you get lots of them though, don't you?
Well, when they're there, you do.
All right, let's crank it up and go see what we can do.
All right. That's the little head we want you to try right there.
All right. Now tell me about this little head right here, Willard.
Well, it's just it's real small there, and what it's for is we want it to get down in them limbs where you can just kind of jig it up and down in there.
Uh-huh.
And if you hang as small as the head is, so you can pull it loose a lot of times. If it had a heavier head, it just hang right up. But sometimes you can get that one loose.
I see. In other words, this little burr back here is to hold your
grub
little grub on it. All right, we're going to just use a regular curly tail grub.
Yeah, we're
right?
going to use when they start out with this, this is a transparent green.
Okay.
I always take that thing and get back there to the second little knob on it.
Okay.
Just pinch that off and throw it in the water.
All right.
Kind of smooth it up if you can.
All right.
All right.
Show me how you're gonna thread it on
Okay.
there.
You always want this little curly tail up, you know.
Okay.
Just thread that right there all the way back till you get to that last little ridge in the grub.
Just bring it on through.
Yeah, and then just push it up there all the way to the head.
Uh-huh.
See, that makes a little fat-looking little minnow there.
Yeah, that's a good looking thing like that. And that's the way you do your grub. Now what about you use some jigs too, don't you?
Oh yeah, we got plenty of jigs.
All right, that's
here.
why we're sitting still. Which jig would we be apt to use today?
Well, I think one, we're gonna start off one that's got a red head on it with white skirts.
Okay. All right, now why are we gonna do that?
Well, it's the time of year that they'll go for that red right now.
In other words, that head has a lot to do with biting, don't it?
Well, when you pull him up, he looks like he got a strawberry in his mouth.
There you go. Now, Willard, you have probably done as much experimenting with colors on jig heads. A lot of people don't seem to think it makes any difference, but you couldn't prove it by you, could they?
Well, I tell you what, for my part of the fishing, the colors is all of it.
Is that right? All right, give me a little rundown. You say we want red heads today, right?
Well, we're gonna start with that.
Start with reds.
Yeah,
What's your normal pattern? To start with red this time of year?
well, right this particular time, yes.
Okay. And then what will we go to?
Well, I like to try black and white, yellow and black, and might even go to some purple.
I noticed you had some purple. Let's do this before we get going here. I'd like to let the folks see exactly how it is. This your main box right here?
Well, this one right under it there.
All right, let me get in here. I'm gonna get a little light on this and let you show them how neat you package your little jigs up there. All right. Now Willard does a whole lot better job of keeping his stuff straight than I do. Now show them how you do that now, Willard.
That little red head with a white skirt on it, that's the one I was talking about right there.
Now tell them why you got them in these little containers like that.
Well, it preserves them. If I make more than what I need, these is good for next year or whatever.
And they don't get all messed up, do they?
Now, this is a polyethylene bag, and you roll it up just like a cigarette paper and just put it in there and staple each end of it. See how stiff it is?
And it keeps them hairs laying right too,
Keeps
don't
them
it?
straight in there, and it's just like preserving something.
And then you got, there's your red-headed one, and here's one of your yellow ones.
Well, that's
with
a chartreuse.
Chartreuse and white, right?
Right.
And so you've got your system laid out here in your box, and you just, when something ain't happening like you want it to, you just go to the
just go to the box.
go and just move around till you find a winning combination, right?
Right.
Does it ever hold consistent for a while, or is it erratic, depending on the weather and all?
Well, you know, like most of the time, your basic colors is yellow and white. But when you can't get them to hit yellow and white, then you can try some of these colors and they'll work.
I see. Okay, well, let's do it to them.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 8, Crappie. Spawning Crappie with Willard Isbell gives you a good springtime crappie show. Fishing Fixins with Nolan Shivers not only teaches you crappie fishing, but shows you how to cook them up. Sam Crappie Maynard is the best in his field on Warrior River, and Catching Slabs with Willard Isbell shows you how to get those large crappies. So ask for Volume 8 Crappie at your local video store.
Now, Willard, I've been with you before fishing, and you got 17-pound test on there, isn't that right?
It's 14, really.
14. Well,
Yeah.
one time you had 17
Yeah,
when
that's
I
when
fished.
we was
Got there in the cold weather, and I want you to explain to folks how you can take a little old tiny jig like that on a casting reel now. Show him your stroke, because he can throw that thing with a casting reel better than I can with 4-pound
We got
test.
the wind against us now.
All right, well, tell them how you do it now so they can watch your style.
Well, you're not really throwing a jig. You drop that thing down there about a couple feet there like that.
Sort of like a fly rod, right?
Yeah. And really what you try and do is throw the line more so than throw the jig.
Okay. Now show them how you do that.
All right.
In other words, you just come way on back and just lob the whole thing.
That's what I say. You just throw in the line. If you try to throw the jig, you won't get it out of the boat.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you, I've sat in the boat here with you and using light line and open face reel, and you throw that thing 20 foot further than I can possibly reach with that open face reel.
Did you lock your anchor in?
Yeah, I did now.
All right.
I went right over. That's all right.
That's all right. That doesn't matter because
you going in there to 45 is what you're saying.
yeah, I'm trying to come off that ledge there at an angle. And I was talking and missed that one.
Did you? So you had a hit then?
Yeah.
Now Willard.
See how that hair is all wadded up there?
Uh-huh. Now, coming back and retrieving, what kind of retrieve do you bring back on these crappies?
Well, I just kind of jig it along a little bit, you know, and just kind of jig it and let it fall, jig it and let it fall.
Okay, I want to watch that stroke now.
All right.
All right, talk to me now.
All right. Now, what I'm doing, I'm letting it get to the bottom right now.
Okay.
And just as soon as it hits the bottom, like that, I just pick it up and jig it a little bit. Just kind of, you know, just more or less wave at, that was the limb in. Uh-oh.
Huh?
That's another hit. Let me give this jig just a little bit of a haircut.
All right, now explain to him what you do with that now.
Well, this long tail is making him hit it. I'm gonna have to cut this tail off just a little bit to catch him.
I see. In other words, that entices him.
Yeah.
But somewhere between enticing him and get him up to the hook is what you want, right?
Yeah. See, now I took about 1/4 of an inch off that thing. Made it a little bit more blunt.
Uh-huh.
Let's see what happens this time.
All right.
That's 2 hits right straight in a row there now. Got a little bit of overrun there. Okay.
Now you're watching your line now, aren't you, Willard?
Yeah, I'm letting it settle in there. I didn't put it back in the same spot, or either I scared him out of there.
Uh-huh. Now, Willard, I notice you use grubs and jigs. When do you use one and when do you use the other?
Well, I use that grub, you know, just more or less to find the fish. And then I use that jig to settle in on them in, you know, just you catch more with a jig than you can with a grub, the way I fish.
Uh-huh. Now, how do you find them with a grub?
Well, I just normally go down the bank with a trolling motor.
Uh-huh.
Just throwing it in at the bank and around brush and, you
Let
know,
it kind of troll it around a little
yeah.
bit?
And once I ever catch one on it, then I just back off out there and tie my jig on.
I see. So you use them in combination?
Yeah. That little curly tail. There he is.
Yeah, he'd been making a monkey out of us there for a minute there, wasn't he? There they come. There they come. Yeah. That little haircut deal you put on him, he just had to reach up and grab it, didn't he, Willard?
When I put that haircut on there, that shortened his dinner up.
I believe that's a bass. Hold on.
Don't let him get around the anchor rope now.
He's heading that way. Oh, he's heading that way. No,
That's crappie.
just a
That's
nice crappie.
That's the kind we're looking for.
Yeah, that's a beauty right there. Look at that thing right there. Now, Willard, that's that special magic you put on there for me.
Yeah, I give
buddy,
you
that's
that
fine one there.
Bumblebee.
That's that little light. How much you say out there that weight of that little old jig is, Willard?
It's probably about a 30-second.
Now, let me tell you what happened on that one. You know, that same old limb that's been hanging me and hanging me and hanging, and I got him loose, and like you said, I let it drop over, and I just kindly just was finessing it. Right on out here, I was on the bottom, coming to the boat. He picked it up almost straight under the boat. So
You just teased him right into it.
teased him right in there. Well, that's pretty good doings there. I'm gonna put him in this magic live well you got up here.
Man, his stomach swelled out there like he got a hamburger in it.
Yeah. Now, Willard, what temperature you think these fish bite at the best?
Well, really, when they really get wide open, you know, like everybody likes to catch them, is I'd say between 62 and 65 degrees.
All right. Now, are you checking that temperature on that locator there? What's it
Well,
look
it's 58 degrees.
58. So it's still got a little ways to go, hadn't it?
Yeah, I believe that's got a lot to do with the fish being as scattered as much as they are.
Uh-huh.
You know, we just catch 2 or 3 here and 2 or 3 there.
Uh-huh.
And if when that temperature comes up, puts those fish on the bank, then, you know, all the good fishermen get out here and catch them.
Yep, I got you. In other words, about 62 is ideal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
I'd say 62, you could probably be catching, well, we catching 4 or 5 fish here, you could probably be catching 25.
Uh-huh. They just more active, ain't they?
Yeah, it just, that water gets them ready to go in there and spawn. When they get ready to go in there and spawn, they eating everything up in their way.
They just got to have a lot to eat, because I wonder if they eat while they're spawning, or do they shut it off?
Well, I don't know about the female, but you catch a lot of those males in 1 foot of water up there. Just as soon as the jig hits the water, he'll grab it.
When they're on the bank?
Yeah.
And that'd be at 62 temperature?
Yeah, I'd say between 62 and 65, somewhere in that area.
Uh-huh.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 9, Saltwater. From king mackerel fishing with Jim McDonald to amberjack with Tommy Browning, Red Snapper with Jim McDonald gives you an excellent bottom show, and redfish at Apalachicola gives you red fishing like you've never seen it before. So ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips, Volume 9, Saltwater at your local video store, or contact your sporting goods dealer.
He finally jumped on that thing.
You knew he was in there, didn't you, Willie?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Huh?
He's scrapper, too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew he'd be in there. Did you get him off that limb you just got
look
hung
at that
on?
strawberry in his mouth there, would you?
Did you get him off that limb you got hung on a while ago?
That one I just broke that line on. I told you he was there. All I had to do was just fool him.
You got him that little Malibu white, didn't you?
Yep. That little strawberry head there.
Uh-huh.
See how he tore that thing up?
Uh-huh.
I just hung that thing, and then that next time I scratched it over, and there he was.
Well, you know, was you right off the edge of that
Yeah.
ledge?
Yep.
You know, our anchor just slipped. We just slid back out here.
Yeah. You see that little old strawberry sticking out of his mouth,
Yeah,
don't
you use a little white Malibu, ain't you?
Yep.
All right, I may have to get in here with you.
Yeah, I scratched that little old limb there, and it was just right.
Uh-huh. If you just barely touch them limbs, that'll do it, won't it?
He couldn't stand it.
Now, let me ask you this about crappie fishing. Now, it's getting toward the middle of the day. Do they slow down any time during the day, or are they better early and late?
Well, this middle of the day, this is really the hard time to catch them.
Is it? Is that generally always true?
Well, I'd say from 6 o'clock in the morning to about 10:30 or 11, they do real well.
Uh-huh.
And from 11 until 2 o'clock, that's your slowest part of the day.
In other words, you're just going to peck around, pick up one here and there, right?
Yeah, you're not going to catch a bunch of them anywhere right now, you know, right in the middle of the day.
Uh-huh. Willard, you done slipped in there and got another before I even got my line tied.
Yeah, I got on that little old limb
Is
again.
that same place?
Yep. You see that strawberry sticking out of his mouth, don't you?
Give me one of them. I ain't hard to convince, Willard.
You put that strawberry in front of him, he can't stand that.
You told me that when it got tough, that's a good lure to use, didn't you?
Yeah, when the going gets tough, tough gets going.
That's right.
Let me see if I got another
See if
one
you
of
got
these
another
in here.
just
exactly like it, huh?
I mean exactly like it.
I'm gonna have to go back to the box on that then.
All right, well, I found your limb out there with my curly tail.
Let me see if I can find you one of these. little killer jigs.
Okay.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 10, Rabbit Hunting. Rabbit hunting is a southern tradition that will teach you good gun handling techniques. Melvin Stewart has a pack of beagles that will know how to keep those cottontails moving. So when you're in the mood for a fast-moving, action-packed adventure, ask for Outdoors with Archie Phillips Rabbit Hunting at your local video store or nearby sporting goods dealer.
I got, looks like about 6 in my box. Boy, them gonna be good eating too. How many you got in your box back there?
It looks like I got right about 12.
About 12?
Yeah.
You didn't whip me but 2 to 1.
Well,
That ain't as bad as it was last time.
No, I think you did extra good.
Well, you got several nice ones out of that last hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna make a good mess of fish right there though, would it?
You have something to eat right there. Look at that black, how pretty he is after he got in that water.
Yes, sir.
Look how black he turned.
Now you got nice black ones and white ones in there. A lot of people ain't never seen them close together. Can you reach in there and let them see them side by side so they get an idea?
All right, let me.
See if you can kind of hold them up side by side.
All right. How about that?
Now you can see the difference real good there, see? And it ain't necessarily that one is darker than the other, it's just the way the lines are running. The black's running vertically and the white's running horizontal. Boy, them's pretty things, I'm telling you now.
That makes some fine eating.
Yeah. Whoop. Well, we better not fool around long. Your boss will liable to run you off, will he?
Yeah, I gotta get to work.
Okay, well, let's go do it. Well, folks, I'm gonna get the anchor rope and we're gonna leave this beautiful Lake Logan Martin here for a while, and crappie fishing is generally good over here year-round. They got good launching places like we showed you coming in, and it's just a fine crappie lake and bass lake. We hadn't got any bass going right now, but we just want to show some of the good crappie fishing, and let the good Lord bless you, and y'all stay with us again next week for some more Outdoors with Archie Phillips.
I like going hunting, just me, my hound, and my gun. Chasing them deer, rabbit, and squirrel, now that's my kind of fun. I like going fishing too, I'll go on any whim. Looking for the big bass, the crappie, and the brim. Give me a wide open field to walk through. Give me an ocean so deep. I wanna ride the longest river in the world, or maybe climb the highest mountain peak.
Folks, we're over at Logan Martin Lake, a little afternoon fishing with my good friend, fishing buddy Willard Isbell from over around Leeds. And hey, Willard, this is one of your favorite lakes, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a little old white crappie there.
No, that's a black one.
That's a black.
See them
though.
lines
Yeah.
running long ways like that? Willard, what you got in store for us today? What kind of setup we gonna do on these crappies, and where we gonna fish at?
Well, we're gonna try to see if we can't find some of these big crappie in here now. These blacks is moving in pretty close to the bank now.
Now, you was telling me coming up here that the black crappie, when the water warms on up, will come on up on the banks, right?
Yeah, they'll get right on the bank.
And the white ones won't.
Well, they'll get up there close, but they won't get like the blacks. A lot of times those blacks, they'll get in a foot of water. I've
that
caught
right?
them in a foot of water. Just as soon as the jig hits the water, he'll get it.
All right, well, what kind of jigs are we mostly going to use today, or curly tails, or whatever we're going to do?
Yeah, we got these curly tails, and we got some of these little homemade jigs like I make, and I believe we're gonna catch them maybe on both of them. I started off with one of these like I make here, but we ain't got two of these curly tails yet. When we get to them, they might just eat that thing up.
All right, well, now, you know, you called me, you told me you thought fishing's going to be good, and so we're going to get out. Is afternoon fishing better than morning fishing, or what's the story on it over here?
I was over here yesterday afternoon, and I did real well, and I thought that we might get enough to show these people, you know, what afternoon fishing is after work.
Okay, now, what are we mostly going to fish, rock structures or treetops?
Well, we're going to fish mostly treetops right now and stumps, you know, close to the bank, and because this water's warming on up now. It's showing about 57 degrees. And if that thing gets on up there, you know, I'd say in the next few days, 62 to 65 degrees, I believe anybody can come over here and catch these fish.
Just using most anything, right?
Just whatever you throw in there on them.
Well, which one of your favorite lures you want me to start off on? I done had mine stuck on the bottom I started with. What you think we ought to start off with first? Willard, I know you caught that one on that same thing you gave me, which is, what do you call it, strawberry jig?
Yeah, a little strawberry head. I'm using what I call the bee here.
The bee?
Yeah.
All right,
a little old black and yellow jig, and I think if you throw that one you got on there, I believe it'll hit that one.
In other words, it's kind of one of a, you was telling me that you use certain colors early in the morning, certain colors in the middle of the day, and certain colors on around. Is this a middle of the day jig right here?
Well, yeah, it's getting towards the afternoon here, and I think that one there, it'll work. If you get it in front of him, he'll grab it.
I see. All right. Well, what you want to do? You want to fish right in this place we just pulled up on, or?
Well, I found that little one in there. You know, he's got to have daddy in there somewhere.
I got you. Okay. Well, I'll just chunk in here a little while. Let's see what we can come up with.
All right.
Now, Willard, I noticed that you don't never like to fish straight into the bank.
Now, I like to come down on one of them ledges there. I like to come down it on an angle. The reason for coming down on an angle like that is you covered more area, you know. If you throw it right straight in, you know, fish is 4 or 5 feet away, a crappie's not gonna move that far after a bait. And by coming down at an angle there, you pull it right by one, you know. That's my theory on it.
Well, now, you know, you've caught an awful lot of fish up here and a lot of places. You won quite a few tournaments too, haven't you, Willie?
Yeah, in the last 3 tournaments, I took first place in 2 of them and took big fish in the last one.
In the last one. So you covered it pretty good, didn't you?
Yeah, and the one that I took big fish in, I got 22.01 weight on that. At a lake that I never fished before.
I see. Well, now, basically what you're saying about these crappies, you've got to present this lure close to him and make him want it, right?
Well, normally a crappie won't go up or down a foot after a bait unless he's already in pursuit of it. I mean, if he's not already after it, you drag it over him 2 foot, he won't come after it.
He just lazy on his feeding habits, ain't he?
You just about got to scratch his nose.
And that's why that your jig and curly tail system is works so good. Now you said that sometimes you use the curly tails and sometimes you use the jigs. How about telling me the difference in when you use what?
Well, when I like to use the curly tail, it's when those crappie get on the banks in the stumps.
I see.
Now, when they get in them stumps, I like a curly tail. But like fishing on these ledges here like this, I like a jig. Because I can slow that jig down slower than a curly tail.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 11, Deer. From a deer driving show with Robert Gardner to a most unique deer rattling show with Joel Davis, which shows you the territorial traits of deer. Lions Club Deer Drive gives you a good charity show with plenty of action. An afternoon deer drive with Robert Gardner is a fine deer show in Hardwood Bottoms. So ask for Deer at your local video store or nearby sporting goods dealer.
Now, Willard, I've noticed you've got an unusual casting style. And I see you can throw that, now you're using a casting reel, and you can throw a casting reel further than most folks can throw an open-face spinning reel. And apparently you've developed a technique. I just wonder if you might share with us how you're able to take a casting reel with 14-pound test line on it and outcast a spinning reel man with 6 and 8 pound test.
Well, the only thing I can say is I think it's just from a lot of practice and determination. Because I found out with this casting reel, it's more sensitive than a spinning reel is. And whatever you can fish with, it's got a lot of sensitivity in it, you can catch fish. Because I don't like a limber rod. I like my rod real stiff.
Even for crappies.
Right, for crappie. When he hits it, it's like a lot of people think I jerk too hard, but when I stick one, he comes to the boat.
I see. Well, what about, show them how you're able to do this. Show us how you're able to just pitch something that you normally couldn't throw 10 or 15 feet with these little old light jigs on to it. That's the most astounding thing I've ever seen you do.
All right, this little jig right here, it weighs about a 1/32. Or maybe it's not more than a 16th. And I got a 14-pound test line here. Now what I try to do, I'm not throwing this jig. I'm just trying to like fly line this line. I'm lobbing the jig and just like fly lining it.
So you got a hybrid halfway between a cast and a fly fishing, right?
Right.
All right, show them one more time what happens now. You go way back and you point it, right?
Right.
Take a full arm's length to do that, don't you?
Yeah, I just come like kind of over my head there, and I'm just, wherever I want to throw it, I'm just pointing the rod that way.
Well, it sure will go on out there.
It's paid off for me in the past, I guarantee you it has. Putting that jig where you want it, because if you can't put it where you want it, you can't catch fish.
I've noticed that when we fished before, Willard, my normal inclination when we pull up to one of these treetops is to fish in closer than you ever will put me. I feel like I ain't never reaching where the fish are, but you got a reason for that. And what is your reason for that, Willard?
Well, when you get in there real close like that, and especially fishing a treetop, if you get in real close on it, and you hang them limbs, you know, and just shake it there, it's got a tendency to just scare the fish out of there for a while. And when you're back here, if you can hang that limb and just take your hand and pull your line loose instead of just shaking that limb, they don't pay as much attention to it. But when you're sitting right over that treetop, they can see the shadow from this boat and they know something's wrong. That's my impression of it.
Willard's got some of the most unusual setups. I thought when you went crappie fishing, you just got you some curly tails or jigs and went on, but he's got them all sizes and styles and everything that he's got a reason for every one of them. And I'm gonna let Willard, if you will, lay them out and explain to you why he uses the different weights and sizes and where he uses them and the different types and colors of jigs and when and where he uses those.
Okay, I've got 3 different sizes right here. I got this is somewhere around a 32nd grub head. It just goes on up there to about an 1/8. And these real small ones I try to use in the treetops and stumps and whatever. And as the water gets deeper, you just step it up a notch, make it a little bit heavier. And I like to use these different color tails on it, these little curly tails here. And I like different colors in the grub heads.
All right, now tell us when you'd want a red head.
Well, in the month of March and April, redhead's always good. I don't care if the water's clear, if it's muddy or what have you, they will hit a red-headed jig. And then on the other hand, you can turn right around and put a black-headed jig on there and they'll hit one of those. It's just according to the situation, what the fish wants at that time.
I see. And well, you got 2 colors of curly tails you like.
Well, really, I like yellow, white, and the chartreuse color, and I like the chartreuse and the transparent green, and also the sparkle green. When you got a nice sunshiny afternoon like we got now, I like this sparkly chartreuse.
And Willard, on those 3 head sizes, I about figured this thing out because I fished with you so much, you've explained it to me. And this is something that's real hard for me to understand at first. Let's say there's a treetop out there that's 10 or 12 feet deep. And, you want to let that thing drop, so you'll have a tendency to use a little bit bigger jig and get it on down. But you're saying to me that you want a light jig so that it'll tiptoe through those jigs. Just kind of thump, thump, up and down. And whenever it hits the limb, you want to just ease it off if you can and let it fall, because that crappie's going to grab it, isn't it?
That's when he'll hit it.
I noticed that a lot of times when you get hung, you just try to finesse that thing off, because usually you'll get one right there on the drop, isn't it?
Just as soon as it falls on the other side of the limb, he'll pop it if he's there.
All right. Well, I noticed you got your tackle box and you got the neatest little arrangement for your jigs and the different colors. How about going over how you got them fixed for you? And of course, you make all your own jig heads and all to suit yourself, don't you?
That's right.
And you fix your jigs and all because that's the way you want them, right?
That's the way I want them. When I look in that tackle box, I know what I'm looking for is at.
All right, well, show us, if you would, Willard, the different things you tie your jigs with and which color you like at certain times.
Like this jig right here, this is kind of a light orange jig here. It does real well on a sunny day like this. In fact, I may be throwing this one in a little bit here.
I see.
And you want to know about the packaging here. Well, what I do is I get me some of this polyethylene. And I try to get it in about a 4 or 6 mil size. And when you roll that thing up, see, it makes that bag real stiff. And if I don't want to use this jig for, say, around a year from now, it's still preserved just like it is.
And you got a staple on each end, hadn't you?
Staple it on each end, and I got it rolled tight, and it's in that bag tight. You can see how straight it is in there.
Uh-huh.
And 1 year from now, it'll look the same way.
I see. But what about your other colors? What's some of them others that are your favorite colors?
Well, I got one of my favorites here, what I call the bee. This is a black and a yellow one.
Uh-huh.
All right. Then here's a marabou jig. This is a chartreuse green and marabou with a white head on it, which does real well. Got solid white with a yellow head on it. This is what I call the grapeco, which is like a maroon-like color, what I call it. But I call it a grapeco. They'll get on that one too. Then you got this old standby, solid white with the marabou feathers on it.
And when do you use a solid white now?
A solid white is good anytime.
Anytime, no worries.
Anytime, it don't matter.
It's just a good all-around fish-catching type lure.
White jig always be in my box.
Now, you was telling me that on several trips this last week or two, you get in a treetop and just go to catching spotted bass out there like crazy on some of these jigs, right?
Them spots that jump on that jig just fast you can throw it in there, and you can't catch crappie for them because they won't let the jig sink to the crappie.
In other words, they come after it. They're a pursuit fish, where a crappie, you got to lay it on his dinner table, haven't you?
Yeah, you got to put it right in front of him. That bass, that spot, he'll come up there and get that jig for it and get down there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hadn't you noticed in the past there when we pull up to these tops, you know, about the first or second cast, you throw it in there, he'll grab that thing if he's in there.
Willard, there he is.
Yeah, you got right on that little old limb there. Man, I see a strawberry sticking out of his
Yeah, that's
mouth.
that white one you just gave me after I watched you catch 3 or 4 on me. Yeah, come on up here, crappie.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 12, Deer Hunting Techniques. Dr. Bob Shepard has taken over 370 deer by observing deer habits throughout each season. Bob demonstrates how to use map, wind direction, and feeding habits to predict just how a particular buck will use funnel areas to move from one plot of land to another. He also shows how to choose a tree for your stand and how to approach that tree with different wind directions. So ask for Deer Hunting Techniques at your local video store.
Willard, you said it was right there in that treetop. What?
Yeah.
Now, that's kind of a little one there, Willard.
Yeah,
But he still done it, didn't he?
yeah, that's good cooking size
Yeah.
right there.
That's your yellow jacket you got on there.
Yeah, that's that bumblebee.
Bumblebee, I mean, yellow jacket. What they about to say?
That's that little black too.
Sure is. He was right in there, wasn't he?
Yep. Look what he done to my jig.
Push that hair slap up the... Now, when they hit like that, that's the way you always know, isn't it, Willard?
Yeah, he'll do it that way when he hits and you miss him.
Uh-huh.
But you know that one there, he got somebody that brought him in this world down there, and that's the one I'm be wanting.
I got you.
Get that thing straightened out there. See if we can get one of them big ones on there.
Yeah, that's what we're after.
Uh-oh, I got away from the tree. Maybe there's one over there, though.
Got a double. Mine ain't all that big, I don't
Mine's
think.
pretty good in here.
Now, mine's one of them, just a small one here.
I got.
Yeah, you got me beat on
I
that.
got the one you
Yeah,
want there.
you got the one. I got hung, Willard, and dropped him right over the side there, you know.
Yeah.
As soon as it come off that limb, that there nailed it. I mean, nailed it.
Man, these is all black crappie, aren't you?
Every one of them are.
Every one of them. That's nice cooking crappie there.
You're gonna drop one across one of them limbs in a minute. One of them mama roos gonna reach over.
Oh, yeah, we get this one's mama.
We'll kind of get warmed up on these little ones.
Yeah, this just break them monotony.
There you go.
But they mess these jigs up, I mean, something awful. They really want them, you know.
How about pass me another one of them curly tails? The one done eat this one about up down
All
here.
right, what color you want?
Well, I done pretty good on that old chartreuse one.
All right, let me get you one.
Right where you said he would, what it, Willard?
Right in between them trees there.
I tell you, that fancy throwing deal you got about 15 yards on me, Willard.
That's a pretty good crappie, too.
Yeah, now he was on out a little further though, wasn't he?
No, he was right in there, right where the limb crosses. That's another black, Archie.
Yeah, but I can't get that far.
I'll probably have to pull you in a little closer.
Might have
See,
to.
them just good hand-sized crappie.
Oh yeah, yeah, that'd stink up a skillet good, won't it?
Yeah, I believe we can do that with a
I
biscuit.
guarantee you. That seemed like to be a pretty hot little old tree right there.
Yeah, there's one or two on there now.
Outdoors with Archie Phillips is now available on video cassette, like Volume 13, Turkey Techniques. Jerry Gardner, a well-accomplished turkey hunter, shows how to select an area to hunt, how to set up a blind, and many calls from the beginner to the most professional caller. This video shows 3 turkeys harvested using these techniques. So if you're in the mood for turkey hunting, Turkey Techniques is the video for you. Ask for Turkey Techniques at your local video store.
Willard, we've had a pretty good day of crappie fishing. Now, that ain't no bad bunch of crappies right there. Let's just pitch them right up here on the dock. Yeah. Yeah, that's some good doings there. We got several pretty good ones in there. We got some little ones, but we got several pretty nice ones in there. Look at that old devil right there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good in there. That's a nice stringer. Look at that one right there. That's a fine one. We've got about, what would you say, 4 or 5 over 2? Pound and 3/4 to 2? That's a big one right there. Look at that big devil right there. Look at that. That's some fine doings. Well, Willard, I've enjoyed every minute of it, and we go get us some ice and get them things iced down and take them home, clean them up. We'll have some good eating tonight. And I want all you folks to know I've been fishing with a champ from down here at Logan Martin, and he's always been able to take us out there and take you folks along with him and give you those special little tips and hints that makes for good fishing on any place you go to do crappie. And this method will work about most anywhere, won't it, Willard?
Yeah, you can catch them pretty well the same way, just about anywhere you go.
Good. Well, listen, I've enjoyed it, and y'all folks stay tuned again next week for some more